Welcome into the Hustle Show podcast, simulcast live on the WagerTalk YouTube channel. I am Drew Martin, your co-host, along with Chris Thurston and Adam Trigger. We got Kelly in Vegas and Pat Wall coming in for Wally's Corner in just a second. Guys, I hope you heard that intro music. It was good. A new flavor here to the Hustle Show pod after the college football season is over. But worry not, we got NFL playoffs and college basketball top of mind. We are presented by Viva Tequila Seltzer. Viva coming to a store near you, live in Boston, California, and the state of Florida on their ways. But without further ado, Chris Thurston on Twitter at CTBet16. Welcome in, buddy. How you feeling?
Drew Martin Bets, I got to do one. The people are asking for it, Drew Martin Bets. I got to do a little hula, baby. It stinks that college football season is over. And I'm sorry, I love you. Trig and I were on Georgia, but we closed out strong. It was a good Monday. I didn't realize that that you were that deep in the Nugget contest there. So good job on that. That just shows how good of a college football season you had as well, my friend. But it was Monday night was really nice. Made a couple shekels, and we're on to Wild Card Weekend, which is exciting and always a pleasure to be here with you and my good pal, Adam Trigger.
Absolutely, CT Bets. And no, hats off to you, man. Alabama, I think it was the right side all the way. I mean, towards the end, it got a little out of hand. But, yeah, it cost me some money in the Nugget contest. I'm still top 10, but it cost me the third spot. So hopefully you do something good with the money you made there. And another guy that made some money on it, Adam Trigger, all the way from the beginning of the season, man. Hats off to you calling that, Trig. Welcome in.
Thanks, Drew. Yeah, that was awesome the way that panned out. I think I touched on it a couple times. You know, we talked about it first episode of The Hustle. I never thought that Georgia was really the best team going into the season. I just felt like they had an actual path to the college football playoff at a good number. And the way it panned out, they get there. They're a touchdown favorite against Michigan and a favorite in the national championship game. Never felt like we had to hedge. So I wrote it out. Hopefully some others that followed did as well. But that was Drew, I thought Alabama might have been the right side for three quarters. And Georgia just kind of took over in the fourth. So nice result for us. And, it was a good weekend.
Yeah. I mean, in the beginning of the game, I think it was like a toss-up. I don't know if there was like really a right side. It's a national championship. I mean, it's kind of a pretty, efficient market there, Trig. But you're right, fourth quarter all the way towards Georgia. So absolutely the winner. And going back to what you were saying in terms of the path to the national championship, I guess before we put college football to bed, is that has to do with, them being on, I guess, the east side of the SEC. You kind of obviously work that into the handicap. What else did you see there? And do you see it actually just repeating itself for next year? I mean, Athens is a great place to recruit to. I don't know. I don't really know what's going to change to make Georgia really drop that far down in the rankings.
Yeah, I have no clue what's going to go on next year. I think it's tough to really determine, especially now with the way that kids are just jumping ship and going to different programs. But Walrus dug up the original analysis and we posted it to the Hustle Twitter page. And I guess the path was, I said, okay, well, the SEC East, there's a good chance they're going to be favored in every game. And they've got two shots to win a game that could allow them to get into college football playoff with a loss. And that was Clemson or Alabama in the SEC championship game. I got lucky. They come out right off the rip to open the season and knock off Clemson. And so they always were kind of up there, and it allowed them to lose that game to Alabama and still get into the college football playoff, still be favored. And it just kind of, it worked out. Like, they don't all work out like that, but that one certainly just went to plan. So very happy with it.
Yeah, Georgia Bulldogs right side there, guys. And also remember, guys, Viva, the drink, the sponsor of the show, a really good drink, 4 different flavors. Get them on the website there, and you can get it shipped to any state in the continental U.S. here. CT Bets also just want to give you a chance, before we put college football to bed here, your Baylor play. Guys, one of the best bets out there. I mean, Georgia, it went 8-1 to win the national championship, but also CT Bets was on the over of Baylor, 5.5 season wins, man. How do you see Baylor's season next year? And also anything that I guess I got incorrect here with the Viva and any shipping where it needs to go, CT?
No problem, Drew Martin Bets. I was looking back at my accounts and my notes, obviously document every single week and go back and see who I had, how I did for the week. And it was a great college football season. Baylor over wins was great. I obviously took Trig's pick on Ole Miss over wins on the year, cashed the Patriots over wins on the year. You with Miami under on the year, I had that as well. So college football season was really good to us. Baylor, I was reading some articles. I'm part of the Sick'em 365 email chain. Looks like Dave Aranda did a lot of work right since he won the Big 12 championship, won the Sugar Bowl. He didn't waste any time. He kind of Bill Belichicked it, and he went right back to work the next day. He's been doing some great recruiting. Looks like Gary Bohannon is going to be back. The backup Blake Shapen is going to be back as well. He will take over after Gary graduates next year. Got a lot of freshman wide receivers coming in, so it should be a good season. A lot of my friends down in Texas are already saying might be in the Big 12 championship again next year. So great college football season. And before we get into big game breakdown, Drew Martin Bets, myself and Trig will be out in South Boston this weekend on Saturday, wild card weekend. We will be whacking the games. We'll be whacking Viva Seltzer. Anybody, any loyal listener from the Hustle, feel free to, we'll tweet out where we are, either Stats, Rosa Lions, Lincoln. We'll be bouncing around. We'll tweet out where we are. Feel free to come down and meet us, watch the games with us, and we'll buy you all the Viva Seltzer you want.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Check them out on Twitter, guys, at CTBets16 and at Top Flight SI. CT, have you tried the shot of tequila in between a Viva every now and again?
You know what? I did. I took your advice on it, Drew Martin Betts, and it's actually really good. That was good advice. And want to know what as well, Drew Martin Betts? Who is telling you that was a terrible idea? Oh, Kelly. So I talked to the main owner of Viva, and he does it himself. Actually, Drew Martin Betts, he throws a shot of tequila in it as well when he's feeling frisky every once in a while.
Yeah, it's not an every time thing. You want to enjoy the Viva. It's a subtle taste, but if you're looking to kind of speed up the process a little bit, throwing a shot of tequila with the drink or just on the side when you're drinking, it's something Adam Trigger could do. Maybe he could tell you about as he does the recap segment here, guys.
Yeah, Drew, that's like the Viva cocktail right there. That's the nighttime drink. When Chris and I started drinking Vivas before a Patriots game at 9 a.m. and then have like 10 or 11 before kickoff, maybe don't want to go with the extra shot of tequila in the, when you're doing it that early. But anyway, recap first. Want to shout out a couple of our listeners. Fun contest we had over the weekend. I think like everyone really enjoyed that. I got a ton of good feedback on that. And I just want to give little recognition to our couple winners. So the contest was you had to pick a 10-point underdog college basketball on Saturday that won outright. All of our winners won Viva, which all got shipped out, except for our guy in Canada took some merch because we're still having a hard time shipping across the border. But anyway, Nick A at Own, biggest fan on Twitter, Chicago State. El Ray 120 hit with Missouri. Black Magic 1 hit with Rice. Loyal listener Keith Landry, I think this is his second contest win right here. I think he's won one of our other contests. He also hit with Rice. And then Tres5, TRES5S at Twitter, with the call of the night, Mississippi Valley State. I think they won in overtime as like an 18-point dog, and they never win games. So what a call right there. We had, that was awesome. We had 5 people win. We had fun. I had fun tweeting about it all day. It looks like everyone had a good time with that. So we will try to do that again in the future. We'll do that one again in the future. But let's break down last week's show. It's good enough. I would say it was like back and forth. The Walrus had Walrus was probably the highlight of last week's show. So I guess we'll start there. We'll start with Wally's Corner. He went 3-1 on the Wally's Corner plays he gave out on Wednesday. Broncos Chiefs under was a loser, but he nailed both of his NFL side plays on Sunday. Vikings pull away for a win. 49ers, awesome comeback win. And then he also had Georgia which was essentially his best bet on Monday. So Wally goes 3-1, and Wally's corner is now 66, 45, and 3, 59.5% on the year. That's awesome. That's really good. Up and down in the other sections. Big game breakdown was 1 and 2. Drew falls short with Alabama. Ravens, I still don't understand how they didn't win that game, but they didn't.
Yeah.
They lose for CT. I hope a lot of people. So I gave out DePaul +5. I guess by the time we were on the show, it was 5.5. I don't really care about I just hope people were able to cash a ticket with that. So we'll say win or push right there. And oh man, the sharp college hoop info that we gave out at the end of the show went 1 and 2, but Jesus, like Bradley lost at the buzzer on just an absurd play. Like kid just like dribbled out. They were +1. Kid just dribbled out to the 3-point arc and like banged like a contested 3 at the buzzer for the win. So tough 1 and 2 there. Best bets. Our guest Joe Ostrowski cashed his best bet, 49ers +5. That was a great call. I took a brutal loss with Tulane. Again, these teams got to start fouling. I don't know how many times I have to watch it. These teams up 3 at the end of a game have to foul. I'm not even going to get into it because it's just mind-numbing that teams are not fouling up 3. East Carolina bangs a 3 at the buzzer. Of course, you know what happens in overtime. I already said the Walrus cash with Georgia. CT Bets also had Georgia. And Drew, UCF fell short on college hoop last week. Did we have a best bet from Cal last week? Is it 49ers? I don't even remember. All right.
Niners. I gave it out on Saturday's show because we forgot on Wednesday.
Got it. So Kel's on the Niners. Oh yeah, Kel's on the Niners, and she booted Drew Martin again. There she is. So anyway, no, that's really it. Up and down show, but I think we gave some winners out. The Walrus continues to stay hot. We will see him in a little bit. So yeah, all in all, a decent week, I guess, and hopefully a lot of you took our advice back in August and had Georgia at 8-1. That should be the highlight of the week right there.
All right. I'm going to have to take over here.
That's okay.
Drew Martin Beth is out. Let's bring Kelly in Vegas in a little early. Kelly Stewart. She's not here.
She's not here yet, Chris. Chris, let's just go into big game. Do you want me to do my big game first?
All right. I'll go first. All right. Big game breakdown for CT Bets. Coming right up here, we're going to go to Sunday, NFL Wildcard Weekend, 4:30 Eastern game, Trig. This one's scary, but I like it. I'm taking the Niners plus the 3 on Sunday afternoon. This Niners team started 3-5, Trig, 3-5. Jimmy G, Trey Lance, you and I were on a bunch of these games at the beginning of the season versus that Cardinals team. They couldn't figure out who was going to be the guy. They start off 3-5. They finally get a lot healthier now. Jimmy G looks like the Jimmy G that we've been used to seeing when he is healthy. He is now healthy. They rip off 8 of the last 11 games, including last week's big comeback win over the Rams, 17-0, in order to qualify for the playoffs. This is a healthy team right now. I really like the way the defense is playing. They showed a lot of toughness in that second half. Coming back, that's a big time win, and that's a tough deficit to overcome to get into the playoffs. They're using Deebo Samuel. He's become one of the best dynamic wide receivers in the league right now. Mike, listen, I am not a huge Kyle Shanahan guy. I'm really not, right? How could you be? He hasn't really shown you anything. A couple years ago, he takes that Niners team to the NFC Championships, gets embarrassed by the Green Bay Packers. We know what he did when he was with the Falcons back when the Patriots came back, the 28-3 game. But listen, Mike McCarthy is an absolute brain-dead abortion to me. And he's just an absolute pant load who has no clue. And I think it was a huge mistake for Jerry Jones to bring in Mike McCarthy as the head coach. And I'm going to take Kyle Shanahan. I think he is a way better coach than Mike McCarthy, and I'm going to take that 3 points on Sunday. This game is just so fitting, right, for the Dallas Cowboys to lose after the season they have. Yeah, I think they won their last, what is it? 5 of their last 6 games, cupcake schedule, 2 of those against Washington football game, 1 against the Giants, 1 against the Gulls. They lose that Cardinals game where we all had the Cardinals. It just lines up as a fitting game for Dallas to lose outright. I'm taking the +3 with the Niners on Sunday. I'm sprinkling on the money line. I fully expect the Niners to get this done. CT big game breakdown, Niners +3.
Niners +3, guys. I'll save the repeating there. That was my big game breakdown as well. So, Trig, did you already give yours?
No, I'm going to give mine now, but okay. I love that you're both on the Niners because I really do think it's the right side. I think they're the better team. Chris pretty much said it. Since Deebo Samuel, Kittle are back, they've gotten healthy. That they're a better football team than the Cowboys. So love to see both of you on the Niners. I'm going to head to tonight. We're talking college basketball, and I think this is probably the biggest game on the card, or at least one of them. We got Florida and LSU in the SEC, and I'll tell you right now, it's a big game for Florida. Florida desperately needs to win this game, and I think they're going to get it. So first off, LSU, they're going to be without Xavier Pinson, and I was listening to the 3-Man Weave guys talk this afternoon. We had Kai on our show here on The Hustle a few weeks back. And one of the 3-Man Weave guys was going into the production sort of LSU with Pinson on the floor, LSU with Pinson off the floor. And it's actually it's more drastic than you would think, maybe by like just looking at the box score and the statistics. So I actually think that that's a pretty big omission for LSU tonight. That's obviously likely why the line did what it did. Drew, we talked about this game this afternoon, and it took me like all day. Yeah, we hit on it on the college basketball show. It took me all day to like really say, you know what, Florida at -3 is still a really good bet. I love the spot for them, and I love this sort of like letdown spot for LSU. Chris gave out LSU on Saturday on our Saturday show. They hammered Tennessee. They played a great game. This team's been on kind of cruise control all year, but, LSU's got some issues offensively. And I think they may kind of show up even more now with Pinson, who is one of their better scorers, not in the lineup. What it comes down to for me here, guys, Florida needs this game so bad. They have to have this game. It's the spot play of all spot plays for me, kind of in college hoop. I think Florida's going to show up tonight. I know they haven't of late, but really the 2 teams they lost to recently, Alabama and Auburn. I think if you watched that basketball game last night, I don't think it's a stretch to say that's 2 of the better teams in the country. I actually have LSU, even with how good they are and how good their record is, as a slight step down from like an Auburn and maybe even an Alabama. And with Pinson out, they're certainly a step down. So I'm going to lay the point. Florida -3 going off here at the top of the hour. Hopefully be doing the Gator Chop. I think they do this down in Gainesville. That's what we'll be doing around 9 p.m. tonight.
They do the Gator Trump. They sure do. They also have cheap beer. Pretty good college town overall. A girl that knows the state of Florida and knows Viva Tequila Seltzer. Kelly in Vegas. It's her time to shine. And I know she's got an opinion on the LSU Florida game. So welcome in, Kelly.
I welcome in. Sorry, Drew. Didn't mean to get you booted earlier, but why did you use my link? I'm confused. I'm over here messaging Joe going, listen, I did not screw this up. I swear to you. Anyhow, apologies to our listeners. As far as the Florida game goes, look, I was on Florida the other night. They had a slight lead at half over Alabama. I thought they were the right side, and down the stretch, they couldn't get it done. I'm looking at it again going, all right, I'm going to back Florida. I know I'm a little late to the party lane. The 3, wish I would have had it at 1.5, but I do think this Florida team is going to get the best of LSU here. This is a Gators team that I know is well coached, and whether or not anybody wants to actually admit that, I understand that I got a lot of flack for that on Twitter. They do have a very, very good defense, and this is an LSU team. No disrespect to them. They've had an awesome year. They're only lost to Auburn. They have a great defense as well, probably why Drew's on the under here. But I do think the Florida should be able to run their offense against this defense, and maybe we will see LSU slip up just a touch.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a really sloppy game, Kelly. I really do. And you bring up good coaching. I guess I wait on LSU side as well. But Mike White, I don't think he gets enough credit. I think Florida plays some good defense as well, Kelly. So I like your breakdown. Did you want to give out your other two games too, or wait until best bets?
Oh, we can talk about it. I gave out Clemson as well, which I absolutely hate. If you guys know, friends with the fade, you guys, they said Dennis gave out Clemson. And I'm like, why? This guy never bets dogs. But when he does, it is a kiss of death. So now I don't feel great. I did think that Clemson +3 over Notre Dame was a great play. I did sprinkle a little bit on that money line. This is a really good Clemson offense. This is a Notre Dame team that I think every single year gets way, way too much credit with Mike Brey. We mentioned good coaching. I'm not saying Mike Brey's a bad coach. I'm just not in love with his coaching style. They've had a nice little run there the last couple of weeks, but this is a solid Clemson team. We see how the line come down from 3 to 2.5. Barstool Sportsbook still at a 3, so I said, fine, I'll take Clemson here, and now I feel like it is the kiss of death with the public underdog, if you will. And then I also gave out Maryland. Maryland was a side that I looked at this morning and said, okay, here is a good Maryland team, not a great Maryland team, but a good Maryland team, especially defensively, versus a Northwestern team that I think is equally as good, right? You give them a little bit for a home court advantage. I thought 5.5, 6 was too many points. I thought this game should have been closer to 3.5, 4. Yeah, there's a little home court in Evanston, but this is not a Big 12 home court advantage, an SEC advantage, if you will. The kids in Evanston just don't show up and get loud like they need to. Obviously, Northwestern dropped 3 straight now, and I think Maryland has a chance to spring this upset.
I like it. Terps tonight. Kelly in Vegas. Check her out on Twitter at Kelly in Vegas, guys. She tweets out her best bets there. She's 14-4 best bet record. Kelly in Vegas bringing the goods, guys, with the cash. And what you cashed with the 49ers just last week, Kelly. Is that another game? I mean, I guess segue in here into the NFL playoffs. You like the Niners? CT bets, and I do.
I do lean towards the Niners here, and they were in contention for my best bet. I really wanted to make a case for this team. The problem is well-roundedness is something that the Cowboys have done really well. Now, granted, their losses are at home. It's wild. You would think that that loss to the Raiders on Thanksgiving, the loss to the Cardinals I was on just a couple of weeks ago was pretty crazy, right? These are pretty sizable underdogs, almost a touchdown to go into Dallas and get the outright win. Dallas should not be allowing these things. I do think defensively, Dan Quinn has really impressed me. I thought it would take a couple of years for him to fix some of these problems on defense. Look, Dak is a great quarterback. I'm going to go ahead and say it. He shows me lots of promise for the future. The problem is he doesn't always have the time that he needs. We know that they've had injuries to the O-line, and when that O-line's healthy and Dak's got time, what do? They hang a 50 burger on their opponents, and that's happened several times this year. This is a Cowboys team that I haven't quite gotten the balls to step in front of just yet, but boy, Niners +3, that is just begging for everybody to bet the Cowboys. They're going to walk up to the window and say, I just need the Cowboys to win. I don't trust Mike McCarthy farther than I can throw him, really. Let's just be honest there. I followed the Packers for a long time now as well. I didn't like him in Green Bay. I don't like him in Dallas. In fact, the week that he was out with COVID, I said was an upgrade for his team, and sure enough, it was. That being said, I lean towards the Niners here, and probably come Sunday, I will get involved. I can tell you this right now, if it drops to 2.5, Drew, I'm going to absolutely put the Niners in every single open teaser spot that I can find.
Okay, so you're gonna tease the Niners up.
If it drops to 2.5, right now at the current number of 3, I'm just hanging tight. I do think we're going to see some sharp money coming on the Niners, though. I do. This looks like a quintessential trap game. We know that Wild Card Weekend, 90%. That's all it is. It's wild. 80% of the NFL is just pick the winner. Most of the time, the spread doesn't come into play. Wild Card Weekend is truly pick the winner. And I think the Niners can sneak away with a win here. They've been playing great as of late. I think they're peaking at the right time. So we'll see. But I'm making a case here as I go along for the Niners, and eventually I'm going to talk myself into it.
Yeah, and actually another thing here I want to throw in, Kelly, and Teddy Covers and I went over this on the opening line report, guys. The strength of schedule in Wild Card Weekend, whoever has the more difficult strength of schedule has won a huge amount of time against the spread. And if you rank more than 10 slots in the Sagarin strength of schedule ratings above your opponent, which 2 games this weekend do, and there's a rhyme to them. They're both NFC East teams, which had the easy schedule. San Francisco is one of them, Kelly. It's San Francisco plus the 3 because the Dallas Cowboys had the easiest schedule in the NFL. San Francisco at number 5. The other game, which I guess we can get into, and any closing thoughts on this one, is Philadelphia Eagles, Tampa Bay Bucks. The Bucks had the number 4 schedule, and Philadelphia had the number 30 schedule. So that would put us on the Bucks minus 8.5 using the strength of schedule in Wild Card Weekend, which if you're more than 10 slots above your opponent since 2002, it's 28-6, 82% against the spread. So those are the 2 games that pop up using that system, guys. I don't know. I'll throw it over to you, Kelly. Anything here on the Eagles and the defending champions right in your neck of the woods?
So right now, I'm going to go over a chart that Ralph gave us. I didn't give it to Joe. I will tweet it out, but it is how teams have fared against this year's playoff teams. You mentioned Dallas. Dallas has played 7 games involving playoff teams. They're just 3-4 straight up. Not that San Francisco's done any better. They're 4-4 straight up. Tampa Bay, though, 4-1 against 2021 playoff teams. They're just 1-4 against the spread. But as I mentioned, Wild Card Weekend doesn't really matter. I'm going to tease the shit out of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers down to 2.5. And that's my only option here on this game. This is not an Eagles team that I was high on. They have played 6 playoff teams this year, 0-6 straight up, just 1-5 against the spread. I cannot trust this team. We know that I do love the dogs. I just don't think this one is barking. Home favorites have not done historically well. Here we go. Joe's got it up from Bet on it earlier. Here's the wild card games. Home favorites have been absolutely terrible against the spread since 2010. We know this. And dogs bark wild card weekend. But I don't think that they're barking in a couple of games, Tampa Bay being one of them. Here's the other chart that I was talking about with Ralph. If you look, you can see the number of games they played versus playoff teams and then the yards per diff. 431 yards for the Eagles. I mean, I just don't see how they're going to keep up here against the Bucks. It is just one of those situations where you either lay it or you don't play it.
Yeah, that is crazy. That yards diff is a wild stat. Yeah. What do you got, CT Beth?
Yo, Drew, what line did you have for Bucks just now that you just quoted?
Tampa Bay across the WagerTalk odds screen is 8.5. There is a -9 at Bet on and offshore.
So, Kel, would you throw Bucks 8.5 in a teaser? Is that acceptable to tease to 2.5?
That's what I would do. I would tease them down to 2.5 right now. Hopefully, you have a spot that allows open teasers, because this is what I did. I had 4 open teaser spots with the Bucks. If I'm not going to use it this week, I might use it next week. I might use it the following week. We know the divisional weekend, championship weekend even more so. We know that the books really limit teaser plays. But if you already have an open spot, then you can kind of utilize it. And I mentioned that I was hoping that the Niners would get bet down to 2.5, maybe a rogue 3. I could have 3. But, man, to get the Niners over a touchdown in Dallas would just be amazing, in my opinion. I think that's easily a touchdown game, one side or the other.
So, Kel, just to follow up, one more follow-up question. If we're all anticipating some sharp money hitting the Niners and that it might move to 2.5, why not just send it in on Niners Bucks if you're going to do a teaser? Just, if you think it's going to go to 2.5, couldn't you just take it when it's 9 and I guess it's a huge difference?
So the math says through, like, when you're only betting long teasers, that it makes the 3 is so valuable, right? So the answer right now is, if you like the Niners, bet the 3. I'm kind of pussyfooting around. If you can't tell, I haven't completely convinced myself that the Niners are going to be it. The more I got to looking at it, I got a little gun shy on Dallas. So what my point was is, if sharp money does come in and I do miss the 3, I'm not going to feel bad about it, because I'll throw it into a teaser situation, because then I know I'm getting up over the 3 and the touchdown. I do think Niners plus 3 is probably going to make my card. But as of right now, I just keep looking at this Dallas defense going, you know what? Dan Quinn's done such a great job. I wonder about Jimmy G from time to time. We've seen him struggle, as particularly in the first half. If it's not Jimmy G, is it going to be Trey Lance? Who do I trust more? I don't think there's a drop-off between the two. I do think this game looks like a shootout, which means points don't really matter, right? We know that points are a premium in these lower totals, but this one looks like it could be a 34-31 type game.
It absolutely could, Kelly. In talking, guys, because we're bringing up teasers here and like Wong teasers. I know a lot of people might not know what that is, Kelly, but Wong speaking to go through like the key numbers, 3 and 7. And if you're just sitting on 3 to push that up, what you were getting into, that's really not worth it. You got to be on 2.5 and go through the 3, right?
Correct. And also, I think that people need to realize, and Ralph has a chart for this somewhere that I need him to update because he hasn't updated it for me since October, but the number of times key numbers hit, right? We know 3 is number 1, hits almost 15% of the time. That's why it is so important to go through the 3. But also 4 and 6 are becoming a lot more prominent numbers in the NFL.
Absolutely. To do the some of it due to the extra point move back a few years ago. CT Bets, man, you got to hop in here. We got some NFL playoff talk, bro.
Yeah, Kel, you and I we're going to get into the Patriots-Bills game here in a second, but before you got on, I broke down the Niners as my big game breakdown, and I'm not a big fan of Kyle Shanahan, but I love him so much more than Mike McCarthy in this spot. It's not even funny. Mike McCarthy is an absolute pant load, brain dead, absolute abortion. Can't believe Jerry Jones brought him in. So I like Kyle Shanahan in this spot. I like the way the Niners are playing. They ripped off 8 of their last 11 and then had that great comeback last weekend versus the Rams to qualify for the playoffs. So I like the Niners a lot in this spot. I fully expect them to win this game. But let's get into the game that we talked a little bit on radio last night. Myself, you, and Dan Lifshatz from 98.5, the Sports Hub in Boston. This is a game where I love it so much because everybody, I'm obviously up in Boston, everybody up here who is like a diehard Patriots fan, it's like the season's over. It was a good job this year. We made the playoffs. They have no chance. Everyone up here, I love weeks like this when it gets like this. Boston Sports Radio, every talking head, Bills are going to rock and roll. I heard this morning and when I was coming home from work, people were like, I can't believe the line's 4. The line should be like 10. That's what they're saying here. They say the Bills are going to rout them. I'm rooting for the weather to be as miserable as possible. That obviously favors Bill Belichick and the Patriots. Bill prepares for this shit. He loves this shit. He makes them practice out in the rain, sleet, and snow. Interesting fact I heard today, the Bills, McDermott had them inside today so their little toesies didn't get cold and they could be okay. Bill got them out in the freezing cold practicing. He loves this shit. I took the Patriots plus 4.5 when the lines came out. It's 4 now. I think the Patriots are going to win this game. Rock and roll, smash mouth football like we saw in Buffalo. What do you think, baby girl?
Yeah, so the Bills is my best bet this week, and I'm going to tell you why. Chris, remember on, I think it was Saturday or Sunday, there was another talking head that tweeted out why they liked Alabama so much. Can you tell me what the quote was? Why they bet Alabama because of who the coach was?
Sure, it's all I heard all week. I'm taking the points with the better coach and the better QB, and no one had a better explanation than that. They couldn't evaluate on that. That's it.
Okay, so all I've heard all week long is you can't bet against Belichick. You can't bet against Belichick. Well, first of all, Belichick has it. Belichick's used to a bye this week. He's used to just sitting back, going to practice. This is his first wild card round in 18 years. That is such a wild stat to me. I'm like, what? So I see that and I'm going, okay. And, you mentioned the QB factor. This is Josh Allen, and I'm not trying to give Josh Allen some major praise here. He's had some severe issues throughout this season, but I think he's got it worked out. The Bills, down the stretch, did what they needed to do to get the win. Josh Allen has been in the playoffs before, and that is my concern. Rookie quarterbacks, inexperienced quarterbacks in the playoffs always have me going, do I really trust him? Of course, Bill Belichick's a GOAT. I'm not going to disrespect him at all, but I do think he's getting a lot of love this weekend. And I understand you can't count him out as an underdog. I understand that their recent history against the Bills, especially at Buffalo, they're 7-1 against the spread. But I mentioned what my concern was about another team. And that is absolutely my concern here with the Patriots. You and I had a season-long bet. I said they wouldn't win 10 games. We set the line at 9.5. They win 10 games. So they did basically, between you and I, meet the correct expectation. This is a team that peaked too early, though. Just 1-3 against the spread in their last 4 games. Trust me, there was a couple games on that stretch where I was going, you know what? How am I going to lose this? This is absolutely asinine. This is a team that started off, 3-6? There was something crazy, Chris, that was like, I was joking with you about buying out early. Me and Uncle Benny, we were having a good time. But that being said, I am on the Bills this weekend. I do love this Bills defense. I do think that they're going to have to be able to shut down the run. My concern is the weather here. And full disclosure, this isn't like I love the Bills. This is my best bet because I have to give out a best bet on Wednesday. And I don't love this week's card. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be on a lot of really ugly unders that people are going to bitch about on Twitter. But I have to pick a side for a best bet. And I looked at the Niners, and like I said, the Cowboys just really scared me off. So I took the Bills -4 and kind of a play against what I think is going to be a trendy dog, at least come Sunday. We're going to find out. But that's what I've been hearing a lot so far today is, how are you going to bet against Belichick? Well, going to give it a shot.
Fair enough.
I like it. Great breakdown, guys.
Well, listen, I'll be weighing.
Chris should have to give me back like something here. I think I could like earn back part of the dinner that I have to buy in March.
That's fine. You know what? I can't remember the last time you won a bet against me, so no problem.
Yeah, I think I definitely know I'm 0-3 as of the last ones I can remember.
All right, how about this? If the Bills win, I will split the dinner with you at Barry's March Madness when the crew and significant others are there. But if the Patriots win, what am I getting now?
That's something you got to figure out because I mean, what am I going to – what is the dinner bill already? What did I agree to, $3,500 or something completely insane?
Yeah.
K-State football.
So let's do this. I'm willing to do that. If the Bills win, we have to think of something fair. I'm willing to split it with you. We need to think of something fair. If the Patriots do win the game, you're right. Like, we'll throw the spread out. Patriots have to win. I won't even take the 4. What is it, Trig? What can we do?
I know what it is. Kelly needs to get Stu Feiner, drag his ass somewhere, and make sure you guys get to hang out.
Or
she needs to facilitate that introduction.
Or he comes on the hustle.
Or he comes on the hustle.
If you think that I can make that happen, you're insane. But I'll do my best.
We need to get a confirmation here. This is no bet. We got to think of something. Between now and Saturday, we'll come up with something fair. But I am willing to give you a shot, and I'm willing to split the bill with you if the Bills win. I'm a nice guy, Drew Martin Betts.
I know. I love it, CT Bets. I mean, this is the art of making a bet, making a wager. We're watching it right here, live on the WagerTalk YouTube channel, wherever you're downloading your podcast at. The Hustle Show podcast, brought to you by Viva Tequila Seltzer, watermelon flavor, guys. Check it out. The green can, Viva Tequila Seltzer, refreshing and drinkable hard seltzer, 88 calories, 0 carbs, 0 sugar, guys. 0 sugar helps with the hangover.
You need tahini on the top of the watermelon,
ABV.
Drew.
What's that?
True. Tahini goes on top of the watermelon. It's the best.
What do you mean?
The tahini salt, lick the rim.
Okay.
Put the tahini salt on with the watermelon. Oh, it's like a watermelon margarita. It's so good. Second best flavor, in case you guys want to know. It goes grapefruit. It's 1A. Watermelon is 1B.
Let us know in the chat.
If Chris wins, Kel has to come to Swampscott for the second straight year on 4th of July. There it is.
Oh my God. That was such a miserable existence. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I would never go anywhere that is unpatriotic ever again for the rest of my life for my favorite holiday ever. There was no fireworks. It was raining. It was cold. I had a great time, but I froze my ass off and didn't feel like 4th of July. I had like one, what was it? What did I have? A bottle rocket or something like that at the horse's house. And it was just pouring down rain.
The horse's house. Yeah.
The weather obviously did not cooperate. It would have been, we had a lot of fun. It would have been a lot better of a weekend if it was nice out, but we got a shit storm every day. We had a great time at the Red Sox though.
Oh my God, yes, absolutely. CT bets almost got in a fist fight at some bar that was in
At
the
Bleacher
outfield,
Bar.
and yeah,
At Bleacher Bar.
Yeah,
I had a great
lots
Yeah,
of fun.
some guy caught him at the wrong time, and it was actually joking around with you, CT Bets. You were not in the joking around mood, though. So, hey,
Shocker.
it happens from time to time.
Yeah.
Fenway was awesome, though. That was great, man. Such an experience there. We do, guys, have Wally's Corner coming up here in just a second. Huge shout out to the chat box. Everybody joining us live. Frenchie Betts, Paco Healy, Jonathan Silverman, all of you guys. Trig, jump on in. And wait 1 second.
Yeah,
If you're watching on replay, guys, feel free to drop a line below. Anything on the bet, anything like that. But yeah, go ahead, Trig.
I can't let us move on to Wally. You know, Kel pulled a John Murray last week where she had something better to do and didn't text us any sharp plays. She was at the Money Shots Bowl. And so now we have her back. We can't move on to Wally until Kel gives us some sharp info for this week.
I literally have nothing. There's literally nothing. I can tell you a couple things. You're right. I did get stranded in Houston, Texas last week, and then had to hurry up and run home and film Bet on it live, which I would like to start doing live. I'm going to work on that one. Raiders, Cincinnati under was a sharp play. The over in Buffalo, over 44, was given out as well. And that's about all I've got. 66% to the under in wild card games over the last 5 years. So, look, if you like an over, kind of tread lightly there because historically it is not in your favor.
No, definitely not with that stat. But yeah, guys, there you see it. Wally's Corner is in full effect right now. We got best bets coming up. But without further ado, Pat Wall, I believe live in Las Vegas, Nevada. Welcome in, buddy.
It's great to see you guys as always. Happy Wednesday. And Trig, can I get a quick record?
Yeah, so last week, 3-1 on the Wally's Corner, the 4 plays that you gave out. The total fell short in Broncos Chiefs, but you rattled off 3 wins after that. Vikings get there easily in the end, I guess. The 49ers, thrilling game. Nice. That was probably the game of the weekend in the NFL. That gets there with an outright win. And then Georgia. So 3-1, which brings you to 66-45-3, 59.5%. So Wally, you win this week. You're probably back up in that 60% range. So we need a winning week from you here.
Yeah, like Kelly said as well. I mean, I haven't seen a ton of sharp stuff this week. Obviously, the card's pretty limited. But from what I've seen, one of them is already one of the ones Kelly gave out, which was it would be 146 under 48 and 47 in the Philadelphia Eagles Tampa Bay Buccaneers game. They played that. Then we'll go to sides, go all the way back to Saturday. They're actually both in the Saturday games. 141 Las Vegas Raiders got played again at 6.5 and 6. You see 5.5 everywhere. Based off of the number I made in that game, I think I made it about 5. So I think it's still all right at 5.5. And then number 143, the New England Patriots game. You guys were just making the bet on there. They took them at +5, +4.5. It's now 4. I made the game 3.5. I mean, it's not a huge edge, but obviously your numbers become a little bit more solid as the year goes along, and just with the forecast, what I'm seeing there, I think it's going to be a good spot to play on the New England Patriots, and that's Wally's Corner.
I feel like we got to give KIV a rebuttal here to the Pats game.
What do you want me to say? Listen, everyone, Wally and I have been opposite a couple of times. It is what it is. Yeah. VR played the Pats too on Bet on it, and I said before it went off, I said, "Man, that's not a good place to be."
And I think on a bet on it in the past too, I think VR said to you, like, he doesn't like being opposite you, and I'll say the same thing. I don't either. But I mean, I do like the Pats a lot in the spot, so I'm going to have to be, and that's just, it is what it is.
Yep.
No, I like it. I mean, I just think Kelly's analysis of like the Belichick thing was real. It hit me because I did like the Pats, and to hear Wally's Corner on it as well just threw me off, guys. But we do have best bets coming up, guys. Brought to you by Viva Tequila Seltzer. CT bets, man. I almost feel like besides the betting analysis, you haven't gotten in here enough, man. Before we get to the CVB Triggs analysis, you want to bring anything up?
Well, it's tough when Trig doesn't shut up. I mean, it's like we talked about this. It's like, can we start lowering our analysis on games? But Trig is just yap. Let's go. They just want winners, Trig. Winners. Drew Martin bets. Yeah, I'm looking forward to Wild Card Weekend here. The Triggs family are coming up. Mallory Ann and Adam Trigger, Triggs' girlfriend, coming to stay at the Thurston household up here in Swampscott, Massachusetts. Coming up on Friday, we're going to go out to dinner, get a nice little steak dinner on Friday night. And then Saturday, obviously the football doesn't start until 4:30, but we will be up early and we'll probably be whacking some hoops games. So hopefully Trig brings some good sharp stuff with college hoops, and then we're going to plan on going into Boston. Drew Martin bets, like I said at the beginning of the show. Anybody that wants to meet up with us, feel free. We'll buy you some Vivas. You could whack the games with us. You could see me yell and scream. I'm probably not going to stay in the city for the Patriots game because I'll get arrested. So I'm going to take an Uber home back to the Swampscott house and probably trash CT Sportsbook when the Bills win by 17.
Even tequila seltzers all the way, guys. Well, guys, we got tip off at 7:00 Eastern here, just 14 minutes away. So got best bets coming up. But first, Adam Trigger, any quick college basketball thoughts, buddy?
Yeah, like I said, best bet of the night for me in college hoop is Florida. I'll give out one sharp side I saw some pretty good action on. That's High Point. I don't have a rotation number in front of me, which Kel is definitely going to get upset with, but it's High Point. They're laying 3. They're playing SC Upstate. I believe the game starts now. I got to make sure that this hasn't started yet. I think it starts at 7:30. Thanks, Joe. Yeah, it starts at 7:30. Again, this is just a game I saw some sharp money on, and it looks like a couple groups hit it. So High Point -3 if you want a little bit more hoop action tonight, but we gave out plenty so far. Florida, I love, and Kel gave out a couple sides. So that'll do it for hoops tonight. I haven't seen anything else compelling enough to share.
Okay, and High Point, guys, that's 306,151. The extra board games. Looking at the WagerTalk odds.
That's right.
Yeah, looks like -3 and -3.5 mostly. Actually, a -2.5 as well at DraftKings right now. So time for best bets, guys.
Gobble that up. Gobble that up.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, that's a rogue number there. If you can grab 2.5 at DraftKings, gobble that right up. I haven't seen any 2.5s on that for a while. So that's a good. If you have DraftKings, go bet 2.5 on High Point right now. It's a good number. Okay.
Yeah, guys, it goes back to our conversation last week about DraftKings kind of being off market at times. So check out Wally's Corner from last Wednesday. But we'll go around the horn here. Best bets. I talked about one of them, San Francisco, the 49ers +3. I also bet the LSU Florida game under. We got the injured point guard on the LSU side. I think it's going to be a sloppy game. So in Gainesville, I would take the under in that game, LSU and Florida. Also, 49ers +3. So throw it over to Kelly in Vegas here. Follow her on Twitter at Kelly in Vegas. Kelly, what do you got for best bets?
Yeah, I already told you guys I don't love this week. And we got Pat Wall on the screen. Let Pat Wall go.
Yeah. No, you're back. There you go.
There you go.
Yeah, right. He kicked me out this time. One of these days, we're going to get this whole flow thing under control. All jokes aside, I did give out the Bills. I don't love the Bills, but it is the side that I worked really hard on today and said, okay, I like it better than the Niners. Obviously gave out Florida tonight along with Trig. Clemson, which again is now the square dog, which bothers me. But I do really like Maryland, and I did go ahead and place a wager on K-State first half. Last few games, K-State's now just 8-6 on the season, lost 3 straight yet. Now they're a 4-point home favorite. I wanted to lay 2.5. I went to bed, saw the overnights. I totally thought money would come on TCU. Why wouldn't it? They've only lost 2 games. Nope, money came on K-State, moved it to 4, so I didn't end up putting it on my sheet. But I did lay 1.5 with K-State in the first half. I think now it's probably 2. But this is a K-State team that comes out firing on all cylinders right out of the gate. And I think that's what we'll see tonight with Bruce Weber back on the bench. Hopefully, that is the plan anyway.
Hopefully it works out that way, guys. We got Pat Wall up next. Wally's Corner always. What do you got for best bets, buddy?
Yeah, so I'm an idiot. 1 week removed. I already forgot I was supposed to save one of these, but I know which one I want to make my best bet. That is number 141, the Las Vegas Raiders plus 5.5 best bet. Best of luck, everybody. Hope you cash some tickets. Don't forget to smash the like button.
From Pat Wall, the Adam Trigger. Check him out on Twitter at TopFlightSI. Trig, what do you got?
Oh my God. I can't believe Kel just came on here and gave the Bills because I don't like Wally said, I do not like being against Kel. I respect every play she gives out, but I kind of love the Patriots here. I haven't been on the Pats. I don't think I've given out a play. I don't think I've given the Patriots out since they lost that ridiculous game where they lost and didn't cover in overtime to the Cowboys. I think that's actually the last time I gave Patriots out. The last time I bet them, I was at the game with CT Bets. They beat the Browns by 1 million. But so the difference between Bama and Patriots, in my opinion, is everyone's not on the Patriots right now. I checked before I came on air. It looks like the majority of the tickets and the money right now is on the Bills. Now, that could change because the betting public rolls in later in the week. But I think this line is an overreaction to what just happened in the most recent game with the Bills beating the Patriots. And if you throw that game out, the Bills have not been impressive for probably, we're looking at probably a month now since the Bills have really done anything of note. That game they won against the Patriots was a revenge game for the Pats going into Buffalo and winning on Monday night. You look at the Bills, they're on a 4-game win streak. They beat the Panthers, Falcons, and Jets. Not overly impressive against the Jets. Not overly impressive against the Falcons. I think it's too many points. I hope I'm not on a square dog here. I do know that Chris's house is getting absolutely trashed if the Patriots do not cover, because we are going to probably be watching that game at his house, and we're probably going to be about 15 Vivas in by that point. So for Amanda's sake and her home, I really hope Patriots get the money here. But I got to say, I think it's a little bit of a revenge spot. I like the Pats getting the points here, and I that's my best bet. I think it's the best bet of the weekend so far in the NFL.
Good analysis, Trig. Bringing in Miss Bear as well. Hopefully the house does stay okay. CT Bets, man. What do you got for best bets and a response?
Drew Martin Bets, I'm going to the Monday night game of Wild Card Weekend. And before I get into it, I got to say, I got thrown for a loop-de-loo on Sunday when I was watching NFL. I'm watching the game, and it's the Niners game. They start talking about Wild Card Weekend. They tell me there's going to be 2 games Saturday, 3 on Sunday, 1 on Monday. I had no clue we were doing that this year. Kelly and Ariel, they said it was normal. They knew all about it. And then on top of that, Drew Martin Bets, they tell me that one of the games is on like Nickelodeon and they're sliming players or something like this. I'm so confused. I don't know what's going on. My dad's up in heaven right now being like, it's Wild Card Weekend. How is there not 3 fucking games on Saturday and 3 on Sunday? The weekend is not Monday. CT Bets thinks it should be 3 and 3. I'm going to the Rams Cards game on Monday night, Drew Martin Bets, and I am taking the Rams -4. I cannot get myself to back Coach Handsome and Kyler Murray in their first playoff game. I think they had a great year. I think this line is set right. Rams favored. Our good friend Kenny White makes this game 7.5. Drew Martin Bets 7.5. He makes this game Rams favored by. I think that Sean McVay is top 5 coach in my opinion. I love McVay. I think last weekend was a throwout game. Didn't really matter for the Rams. They get off to that hot start, and you know what? Really don't want to just get out of that game without any injuries. Head into the playoffs. I have a 14-1 ticket on the Rams to win the whole thing. I expect them to come out firing on all cylinders. Drew Martin Bets. Then I'll be doing the hula, cashing on Monday night, Wild Card Weekend. CT Rams -4. Best bet.
Love it, CT Bets. Also a 3.5, guys, at DraftKings. Again, off market there, but -4, widely available, straight up guy. CT Bets 16. He knows Viva Tequila Seltzer. Guys, go order it on the website. We'll tweet something out there on Twitter at The Hustle Show Pod. Our belief is to live long, live well, and live it up. Viva up. For Kelly Stewart, Chris Thurston, Pat Wall, and Adam Trigger, I am Drew Martin. Guys, we'll see you next week. Best of luck with your bets.